Okay, question 8. I've got to do 3 minus 4 sevenths and I've got to give the answer as a fraction. Improper just means it's going to be a top-heavy fraction. So how do I do a number that isn't a fraction minus a fraction, or how in general do I add or subtract fractions? The answer is I need a common denominator. So I'm going to be doing minus 4 sevenths. Okay, this is a whole number so I can make it into sevenths. So how do I write 3 as something over 7? Well, 3 is 3 over 1. Okay, to get an equivalent fraction over 7, if I'm multiplying the bottom by 7, which I am, I'm going to have to multiply the 3 on the top by 7. So I'm going to get 21 over 7. And you can see that 21 divided by 7 is 3. You might have just been able to write that down. That's great. Now I know it's 21 sevenths minus 4 sevenths. Then it's like having 21 of anything minus 4 of any of the same something. Okay, if I've got 21 of them, I'm taking away 4 of them, I'm going to get 17 over 7. So once you've got the same denominator, okay, you can now just look at the numerators and say, I've got 21 of those sevenths, take away 4 of them, which will be 21 minus 4 is the 17 over 7. Hope that helps. And while we're talking about fractions, I might as well carry on and do the next couple because these are also fractions. So how do I do a half of 5/9? Well, a half of something is a half times it. Okay, so of often means multiplication. So we're doing a half of something, that's a half times 5/9. Now it's just a rule for multiplying fractions. On the top, 1 times 5 is 5. On the bottom, 2 times 9 is 18. So it's 5/18. You may have another way of getting to that same answer. As long as you've confidently got to 5/18, I'm sure you're doing it right. Okay, and then the next one, 3 times 5/11. This 3 is not a fraction. If it was a fraction, I could do a similar method to the previous one. So how do I make 3 be a fraction? Answer, I can write it as 3 over 1. So I need to do 3 over 1 times 5 over 11, and now I can just use the normal procedure for multiplying fractions. On the top, I've got 3 times 5, which is 15. On the bottom, I've got 1 times 11, which is 11. I'm very happy for you to leave that as 15/11, but if you want to, you can write that as 1 and 4/11, okay, because 1 is 11/11, that's fine, but 15/11, as far as I'm concerned, is perfectly good. So we have these 3 answers to the 3 fraction questions, 8, 10 and 11. I do not know why there's no question 9, actually. By the time you see this, these will be questions 8, 9 and 10. Okay?